Welcome back to my channel. I'm EG and this is Wednesday Reads book review video. I read this week a fantasy novel, sort of mixed with dystopian novel, by MJ Vieira called Lux. Now this is book 1 in the Veritas series and there are so many questions. Oh, it was a fascinating read. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to describe the plot properly, but I shall give it a shot. This starts with the dream sequence, I think. It's sort of a dream sequence. It's really revealed later on, and thank you, kitty. You want me to? All right then. Please excuse any noises. My cat has a new toy and is she's all over the place. Anyways. This story starts with a dream sequence from a girl named Jade. And so she is kind of the captain of the king of demons / new king of the world, Malum. He is the king of the people who worship Lux or light. And he is then trying to woo this captain, win her over, and get her to be his queen, his equal, ascended being / slash demon. And so Jade is kind of figuring out what's going on because her memories are a bit weird and things are not as they seem. And I apologize for that plot description because the book is actually quite a bit more interesting than what I've just described. There's so much going on that it's kind of hard to describe, which is, why I'm not a professional blurb writer. Anyways, so this book was fascinating. It explored a lot of psychology and memory and false memory and what you do when you're sort of trying to did you eat it? What you do when you're trying to figure out your emotions and what's going on. And it was very interesting because Jade is obviously a very flawed character. And it's interesting to see how she pieces the world together throughout her journey, and she figures out some very interesting things, and how she feels about them is kind of, a question mark because we're not quite sure what's going on inside her head. Even though the story is told from her perspective, she's not quite sure what's going on inside her head. So it's very very much interesting in that regard. It talks a lot about the, psychology and lack of memories and her feelings on the situation overall. And it's tricky, and I like it. Be warned, I wouldn't call this specifically a romantic fantasy. It has a romantic subplot, but the romance is almost part of Jade's problem, as much as it is the solution to things. And oh my, MJ, you made me blush a bit. It is rather, it's a little bit graphic when it comes to the romance, but not necessarily in a bad way. It's sort of, the fact that it dominates in that way is kind of reflective of the story itself. Definitely, it is an important part, but because it kind of becomes so much the focus, Jade has a harder time figuring out what's what and what she should be thinking, and it mirrors her journey almost. So I do have a couple of critiques. The ending was a bit rushed. I wasn't quite sure. I mean, it answered all of the questions I had, which is good, but it did so in such a fashion that I felt a little bit too quick. Things were moving too fast and it needed to sort of slow down so I could process the answer to these questions that had been cropping up the entire book. I think one of the characters who dies at the end, I think, could have had a larger part to play. I was a little bit confused, and I think the answers were a little bit too easily given. However, that is sort of irrelevant because the answers that were given brought up more questions, which I presume are going to be answered in book 2, Veritas, and I really want to know what's going on because everything has changed so much. I mean, the end of the book starts Jade off on this new journey, and she has so many questions that are left unanswered, and I have questions that are answered, but I have new questions now, and it's rather, well, it was very well done on the author's part from a writer's perspective. From a reader's perspective, why are you so mean? Anyways, so that was Lux, book 1, B for Beware, book 1. Book 2 and book 3, I believe, are out. I'll have to check on that for you. I'll leave all the links in the description box below as usual. You can find MJ Vieira on Facebook and other social media sites. Again, all the links are in the description box below. You can also find my links in the description box. You can follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can find my website, which has some fun stories that are up. Also news about Speaker of Words, which is coming out in a couple of months. Hooray! And otherwise, that is all I've got for you this week. If you're interested in seeing more of these videos, please do subscribe. In the meantime, I will see you next time. I need to go figure out where my cat put her toy. Anyways, have a great day. Bye.